What can a book about stock market investing teach you about having stronger, more enduring, and healthier relationships? Well, there are 3 points that I am taking away from J.L. Collins's The Simple Path to Wealth. Really great read, and I recommend it for anyone who is building financial literacy and looking to maximize the fruit of your labor, right? And J.L. Collins' writing, it really resonates with me because of its simplicity. And me personally, I believe simplicity is the love language of creation. When we overcomplicate things, that's when we find ourselves not making decisions and not moving in the direction of all of the potential that's locked up in each and every one of us. So, there are three main principles that I believe apply directly in the relationship space that Collins talks about in this book. And the first is keep it simple. He talks about how easy it is to become confused by all of the different language and terminology in the investment world. But when you really just simplify your understanding of what investing in the stock market is, then you can develop the right mindset for the second principle, which is developing the guts for growth. And there is a mental game. There's a very mental and emotional game when it comes to growing your money. It's understanding that booms and busts are going to happen. And what many of us do in the relationship space, we sell low when it looks like, that this relationship is not benefiting us, it's not going anywhere, and there's no hope for it. We go ahead and we cash out and we take huge losses right before the market bottoms out and that trade begins to grow again. Going back to one of the big reminders in the book, the market always grows over time. If you look at it, it'll have some corrections, it'll have some crashes, but it corrects and it keeps going up and up and up. And I think that's a great mindset for relationships. In fact, I personally believe that the more you overcome conflict and navigate those busts or crashes in the relationship space, the more valuable you become as a relationship asset, as someone who can be trusted, as loyal, as someone in whom other people are willing to invest confidence because you don't run when the market is screaming anxiety and acting out of emotions rather than that long-term investment commitment to long-term growth. And then finally, point number 3, avoid common mistakes. People commonly come into spaces like investing and in relationships with common misperceptions, and they're very irresistible. And Collins talks about the psychology of this. Everyone wants to beat the system. You want to figure out the perfect timing. You want to anticipate when the market has reached its bottom so you can buy at the lowest and ride out the increase, right, of the next wave. And you want to figure out when to sell at its highest so that you can cash out at the highest potential. Well, this Collins explains, with the exception of a few anomalies of people who have like the mojo for it, it's just not reality for most investors. And so having that same kind of attitude in the relationship space, I think is a part of the winning recipe. That when you understand things like being an opportunist in your relationship, it might get you a little gains, right? Like a day trader, you might be able to jump in real quick and snatch a few dollars out real quick. But when you treat relationships that way, over time you lose trust and confidence. Versus authenticity may seem a little riskier, right? It may seem like, all right, I'm going to have to mentally just not look at my portfolio today because there's just a lot of bad news going on in the world and it's really affecting what my money looks like. But I'm going to ride this thing on out. And authenticity often looks like that, risky on the front end, but over time it builds trust and confidence and your value in the relationship space. So those are just a couple of my thoughts how this book really resonates with me, not only as a piece of financial literacy but also with principles that absolutely do apply in the relationship space. I pray you are blessed, you are encouraged, and that you consider which of these principles can you learn to start practicing to increase the value of your relationship portfolio. I'd love to know how that works out for you. Be blessed and encouraged.